Hi everyone, Sunday, 1st of October, 22 minutes past 5 p.m. in the afternoon here in Australia. Here's my latest video blog. During the week I've been getting a few emails, been looking at a whole heap of new ICOs and some new platforms and some new services and some new entities coming into the space. And I got an email from someone I've dealt with before. He spoke to me and sent me a link about looking into Spectre. Now, what interested me about Spectre and what I'm going to do today is I've gone and spent probably about 3 or 4 hours just researching the white paper, having a look at all the videos, jumped on the website. There's a whole heap of Excel documents in regards to tokens, distribution of funds within this particular space. Now, for those who don't know, Spectre's got an ICO coming up, another one of these ICOs, you know, and this is the thing, you've got to look through and work your way through the traffic and find, you know, the relevant services and things that you feel are going to have a place in the future. And I spoke about my top 10 in my last video, and it really came back to financial services, platforms, currencies, and, you know, the particular entities that are going to appeal to, I suppose, a mass audience, because there's no doubt that when you're investing money, and you know that's what a lot of people are doing here. So you know they're watching these videos of mine and others people on YouTube and looking for opportunities. And I think the opportunity must be relative to your return of investment. So there's no point investing in something, one, you don't believe in, or two, you feel that will only sort of penetrate a particular market niche or a part of the market and only appeal to a certain niche. And you might not find your return of income or return of investment achieving your expectations. So you've got to be very, very mindful. But the thing about this particular space, and I think it all started with cryptocurrencies, and you know, there's no doubt anyone that's in the space, we're on exchanges, and at the moment, a lot of us are trading. You know, and it is very simplified. It's just buy and sell or hold. I think some of the platforms do offer some margin lending and trading and certain things like that. I haven't necessarily done a lot of that. I've been doing a little bit of trading in stocks and things like that, and I'm very interested in looking at options and ability to move cryptocurrencies with a little bit more ease, and that's where Spectre comes in. And the thing about Spectre is, and I think with cryptocurrencies, is that it's a liquid, it's a moving entity. It's very alive. The energy in crypto space, so there's the ability to get involved in a 24-hour market and make some short and long-term gains, if that is what you're after, you know. And I think there's a lot of millennials are coming through. They're very savvy with the, you know, their computing and things like that. So they're quite happy to learn how a particular software program works. And if it means that they can do some day trading or make some one-off trades, you know, once a week where they feel, you know, based on their research of the markets, they can make a nice short. You know, these things are obviously valid. So what I've got today is I've got a whole heap of windows open, and I'm just going to work my way through the windows because I have picked out little sections of Spectre and some paragraphs and just read them out. And you can get a bit of a feel for what they're offering and what services they're going to provide. There's no doubt it is something of interest for anyone that's looking at a brokerless financial trading platform. So on the homepage here, we've got, you know, they're talking about shorting and speculative tokenized trading exchange, which is a financial prediction market platform backed by a tokenized liquidity pool. Now the thing is, it's decentralized. So what they're looking at doing is removing some of the, I suppose, dirty brokerage. And you know, I think Wall Street's got a bad name for you know, taking advantage of normal people and you know, making a lot of money out of mistrades and misinformation and inside trading and things like that. And there's a middleman as well, if you want to look at it that way. But this way, this puts it into your hands. You're in control. You can make some trades. It's in a decentralized platform. I think all the money goes into a pool, and it's all very, very well clearly set out. So definitely jump on the homepage and have a look at Spectre. And what I liked about Spectre, and I think it's when you come to these things, is when they've got videos and they've got the language, that's what you want to do. You want to read. So sure, it does take time to read it, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. But that's where you just got to sit down, take some time and just start at the top and work your way through. So on the homepage, there's a lot of information in regards to the team, and I'll probably do a video on that separately. But the other thing that really interests me is when you go to the documents, I come from an entrepreneurial business background, and I've run numerous businesses. I've been the CEO of several companies, and you know, some have worked, some haven't, and I've had this 28, almost 30-year experience, and you get to learn certain aspects, and you start to see certain elements of businesses that attract you, especially when you're making investments. And what I found with this is obviously you've got the standard white papers, and they've got a couple of short papers here, but they've also got a SWOT analysis. They've got a liquidity pool security explanation spreadsheet, some other things in regards to token buybacks. They've even got a forecast. I love companies that have forecasts, and I'm just going to run through some of these pages with you because it does give you a lot of confidence, and it shows you that they're not just a front, they're not just a website promising an idea. There's a lot more depth to this entire space. So first one is we've got a short video. Now I'm just going to press play. It's only 2 minutes. It gives you a quick little explanation. You can find this on YouTube, and you can find it on the website. So I press play.
Blockchain technology is changing the world before our very eyes. Decentralization is at the heart of the Ethereum blockchain. The financial trading and betting industry is mired with conflicts of interest, where brokers manipulate prices, trade on client accounts, misrepresent financial risk, don't allow withdrawals, and ensure that between 70 to 90% of traders lose money over time. Spectre, short for Speculative Tokenized Trading Exchange, is a generation leap forward in trading technology. The broker is removed from the equation completely and is instead owned by ICO token investors who capitalize its balance sheet initially. Thereafter, the Spectre management receives a small percentage operational fee each time a trader trades. The ICO token holders equally receive a similar percentage dividend payout. Whether a trader wins or loses is no longer relevant, as neither Spectre nor the token holders make money only on traders' losses, but instead purely on volumes. All payouts to traders are instantaneous, and the entire process is governed by smart contracts. The conflict of interest is therefore reduced to zero. Spectre Trading Platform houses state-of-the-art emotion control, trade opportunity recognition and analysis algorithms, along with giving the ability to the user to see their own progress, strengths and weaknesses over time. Traders can choose to trade on a range of assets, being rewarded with an instant 75 to 93% return on investment if they win. They can trade any time they want, as Spectre's decentralized liquidity pool acts as an ever-present counterparty. If, on the other hand, people don't wish to trade, but instead earn from the volume generated by traders on Spectre, one can invest in the Spectre token instead, earning a profit share for life. Spectre, disrupting trading.
So just close that one down. So what I like about that is there's the opportunity to build a community. There's a liquidity pool, which as a community, we're invested in. That's transparent, and I've seen the test net of this particular platform. It's quite clearly indicated at the top. Your tokens, and there's two tokens. There's a Spec U and a Spec D. One's actually part of the, I suppose, the payout in regards to a profit share of all trades. And I like the idea of that. And then there's another one which is liquid. I suppose you can trade that as normal. So, and I think you in the ICO process, and I've still got to just clarify this, there's a percentage of both that you get. I'm not sure if it's 50-50, and I will get back to you on that. I've tried to find the exact information, but you can get a very good percentage of both of these tokens. So you get a X amount liquidity return, I suppose, or a profit share, and then you've got the actual token which you can trade. So there's two tokens. The other side of that is, like you saw, it takes out the brokerage, or the broker. Okay, there's a small 2% that goes to the overall. I mean, people are in this to make money as well, but getting a decentralized platform where the community is involved, I feel is a great initiative, and that's what we want. We want to take out the middlemen. We want more transparency and I suppose trust, and that's where smart contracts come in, and that's what the amazing benefit of smart contracts as a whole. It's just that you get to understand, I suppose, what you're getting into. Now, this particular video I'm not going to play, but it's on the website, and this just gives you an explanation about these different bits. And shows you how to go through it. It's about 2 minutes, but I'm going to let you look at that. I'm not going to explain everything for you. It's up to you to press some buttons as well. Coming back to this now, I've stopped this video at a specific spot where it's going to show you a particular trade. This is the actual test net, I suppose, and you can see up here the liquidity pool of the amount of money left and right, and it's got some fancy bits, and it shows you the internal mechanics of the actual platform. Now I'm just going to press play.
The price is falling at the moment, and I believe that it's hit a lower boundary, so it may actually rise. So what I'm going to do here is I'm basically going to take a very short-term trade that I believe it's going to go up. Okay, so the asset is US dollar Japanese yen. The direction is up because I clicked on up. And I want to go in really small. 9 ethers is a lot. I'm just going to go in with a small position, let's say 3 ethers. Okay. The trade will expire in 5 minutes. I can select a range of expirations, but 5 minutes is the shortest. And I'm trading freestyle right now. Okay. There's a range of other type of formations, but I'm going to keep it very simple. I get 75% payout, instant 75% payout if I'm right. And if I lose that 3 ethers. Okay. So let's go ahead and enter this trade. Right, so you can see that immediately I've entered the trade here, where you see the orange up arrow. And where it says E, this is the expiry. This is where it's going to expire. So the time right now, I entered the trade at around 6:35, okay, in the morning, and it is going to expire at around 6:41, okay, 6:40 roughly. So let's track this trade. We can see it here. You can see the live market price. Okay, this is what I love about Spectres. It's so visual. It's so easy. Okay, and you can see here the amount of money I've allocated. It's a US dollar Japanese yen trade. It is, the entry price was 110.535. That's verified on the chart. This was my entry time. The expiry is 5 minutes, and I have 4 minutes remaining to go. All right. So far, it's looking good. All right. And remember, it's 75% payout on this instance. In this instance, sometimes you're going to get a higher payout. This depends on the market conditions. The algorithm is calculating that. Of course, let's see what the other traders are doing. You can, of course, chat with other traders as well.
Now I'm just going to stop it there. Again, I'm not going to play the whole video. It's a 7-minute video. There's little elements. And I think the thing with these type of platforms is there's obviously elements of risk. So again, when you're dealing with money, this is not a lottery. If you're going to get involved with Spectre, I mean, there's 2 ways you can get involved with Spectre. One is just a token holder and let all the big boys do what they do with their trading, and you get a percentage share, and you can obviously trade your Spectre tokens or hold them for 3-5 years, and hopefully it makes you an ROI that you're happy with. Or you can get involved and use the platform. And the thing about that is, from my perspective, is you've got to know what you're doing, and you've got to do a lot of research and understand what you're doing. Otherwise, you can lose a lot of money, as well as make a lot of money too. So it's just one of those things: research and knowledge, and I suppose training and putting yourself in an environment where you can learn is always very important. So there's some really nice videos in regards to explaining what the platform looks like. It actually exists. You can actually log in on the website and have a play with it yourself. So those options are available, and they're there for you. So Alpha, get that one out. Where am I on here? Okay, just working my way along. On the homepage, you can also pre-register for a pre-sale. That's actually on the homepage on this button here. So if you're interested in that, you just got to fill out the form. Next thing I came across, like I said, I'm very diligent with research, and I will express to you to go and do your own. And there's a frequently asked questions page in regards to when's the ICO and things like that. And there's 3 buttons up here on different elements of the frequently asked questions. But just in regards to token sale, it's going to start on the 17th of November. So you've got quite a bit of time to prepare yourself and do your research and see if this one's right for you. And it's going to go for 24 days or when the max cap of in ETH is reached. Yes, they'll be doing a pre-sale from the 27th of October to the 5th of October. So still pretty much a month away, 26 days away. And there'll be 40 million tokens available. Max cap is put in place as a security measure. It is just as hard. It is just a hard cap and not a goal. What else they got? Which payment methods they're going to be doing ETH on this base? It looks like it's on the Ethereum using an ERC20 token or compliant token. And what else they got? The 120 million dividend tokens. So this is the Spec/D token where you'll get a percentage share for life for the particular tokens that you've got in your portfolio. And then there's going to be 120 million utility tokens, which I imagine is more for the trading. It's more as, I suppose you could say, your security within this particular entity. Unsold tokens, I do hear that a lot. People like to know. After the end of the token sale, the remaining unsold tokens will be burned, and the share of all token holders will be proportionately increased on a pari passu basis. Okay, so that's a good one to know. So the tokens aren't just going to miscellaneous people or things like that. There's going to be a burning, and it looks like the token holders will be credited accordingly. Yes, both Spectre tokens are ERC20 compliant, and they're talking about Spectre being listed on exchanges. Let me click that. I haven't actually read that. One thing, it's always nice to know that where the exchanges are. I mean, there's a few decentralized exchanges which aren't great to use. I think Ether Delta, I was on it the other day. It was very frustrating. I think it took me 2.5 hours just to sort of work out what was going on. I think some of these profit share tokens may fall with a little bit of resistance. I think like with Bittrex, I know that Bittrex knocked back peer players or someone else. Don't quote me on this, but it's very similar sort of circumstances. So it'll be interesting to see which particular exchanges, and even with the new Chinese regulations, what's passable and what's allowed, and which particular entities will take this up. How do I safely store my tokens? Can be stored in ERC20 compatible wallets. So that would be your Mu, my Ether wallet, and those other types of scenarios. I've got a Mu, and I put my ERC tokens in there. If you don't know what that is, look up my Ether wallet. Make sure that you're very, very strict with your browser, because there are some phishing attacks going on. So make sure you get the right address and then bookmark it, and never click on suspicious links or emails going back towards your Mu wallets. Got to be very, very diligent with your wallets and in regards to your security. So I'm very, very big on that. So that's all I wanted to share on that page. It's just some of those facts. I'll get rid of that. Next one was just this like a one-pager. Now you can read all of this. It's under documents on the homepage. But I like this type of stuff. It's all this information. It's in front of you. You can see it. So it answers a lot of questions. You've got the CEO here, Kane Zissis. And no offense, it's just one of those things, trying to pronounce names that you've read for the first time. Yeah, so eliminating broker fraud, the 3 billion digital options, and they're trying to take out and that's the big thing. They've also got allocation pie charts here in regards to liquidity pool and personnel, where who's getting the money, who's getting, in regards to bounties and token sales and management and legal advisories. We want that type of information. But again, I'm not going to run through that. You can go and read that yourself. It's the one pager. Now here's the white paper. Now I went through this diligently. Some of the information is throughout the website as well. But Spectre, short for Speculative Tokenized Trading Exchange, is the world's first brokerless financial trading platform with an embedded decentralized liquidity pool. Today, the financial trading industry is merged with conflict of interest and fraud. Brokers have been long known to manipulate prices and even refuse withdrawals, thereby destroying retail trader balances and finances over time. This contributes to a shocking 70 to 90% plus industry loss ratio, meaning that more than 7 out of 10 traders lose money in the longer run. At an unregulated bucket shop brokerages, the loss ratios are even higher, as they simply refuse to allow traders to withdraw profits. So there's decentralization and tokenization of the broker, meaning it is owned by the masses, so the community owns it, and there's a lot of transparency. A perpetually growing tokenized liquidity pool of which the masses are entitled to, an automatic smart contract governed dividend payout stream. Fees are not generated on client losses but instead on volumes, wins or losses in Spectre, thereby moving away from the traditional conflict of interest model, which means the success of the platform means the success of your return on investment. So that's definitely something to look at. And I think with any of these type of things, if they've got an end user product that people actually enjoy, and from what I've seen, it looks very clean and easy to use. And most often when that happens, you find that mass adoption to these platforms is a little bit easier because no one likes a platform that's hard. I think we've all had that experience where you log into something and it's just really difficult to understand. But it's like anything, it takes time to learn how to use what you're using. And with this, even with this Spectre, it might take a couple of years to build up the actual liquidity pool and sense and user base. But the thing is, too, there's a big hole in the market at the moment in regards to being able to do these type of trading. So that's why I like this, because it's niche based. It's something that I would probably log into on a daily basis. I do a lot of sort of day trading on Bittrex and some other stuff. This gives me some other options, only because I feel more confident with the market. I've been watching it a lot more, and I think I could make 1 or 2 very strategic trades a week. Some people who want to do this every day, I'll leave that up to them. I feel I could probably get involved on some slightly bigger movements and things like that, where I feel a bit more confident. The other thing with this, the white paper, is I'm not going to read this out for you either. It's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to, I suppose, give you some clarity on what this is all about, and sort of give you planting some seeds for you to go and do the work. You've got to go and show some due diligence, and that's what this is all about. Lots of clarity within the white paper. They're very important, but main document everyone should be reading with any investment. Next one is the token and proceeds allocation. I'm just going to move this over here. So what it does is it breaks down the Spec D and the Spec U. There's going to be 5 million total Spectre tokens, which is a combination of Spec U and Spec D. I'm not too sure of the actual percentage, but it'll probably be 50-50. There's going to be 240 million total Spectre tokens, part of the hard cap. So there's a minimum cap. I think there's which will be the pre-sale, I assume, and then there's going to be 240. So there's all the details here. There's no doubt people are interested to see how many tokens, because if there's too much liquidity in the market, sometimes that can affect your return of investment. But it's all relative to how many you get. It looks like you get 2,000 specs per ETH at this particular rate based on this sheet. So whether that's going to be updated, but that looks like what they're going to be running with. And it's got all the other information here. They're going to a lot of trouble to provide as much I suppose transparency to what they're going to do and how they're allocating the money. I like that. From a business point of view, I do a lot of this stuff with my businesses, and I break down where I'm moving money and what I need to do, and it just gives you a lot more confidence. So that's what excited me when I saw that on the home page. So you can go and have a read of that. It's under Documents, Token and Proceeds Allocation. Then you've got the financial model. Now we're starting to get really serious. I love doing these things, forecast spreadsheets. Okay, this is showing you, volume and gross revenues and dividends and how they're distributed, and it's giving you an indication of what the business might look like based on a certain amount of users, etc. Even after the ICO. I mean, they've got targets from the ICO. Once they get an ICO, they're on their way, and when they achieve a certain part of that hard cap that they're talking about, you're going to see some of this these figures actually start to materialise. So, you know, all forecasts should be taken with a grain of salt, because that's what it is. It's a forecast. It doesn't necessarily tell you the truth. They evolve, they move, they change, they have to be adjusted to circumstances and to current numbers. You know, what I would be doing is definitely, as an investor, is coming back and having a look at this after the first 12 months and getting a feel for how it's going. I mean, the thing with investments too is you've got to get into it initially, and if you know, after 12 months you feel that you would like to do a little bit of an assessment on your portfolio, companies that can actually provide you with information like this gives you a lot more confidence. It's a lot more transparency, and you can see where they may be heading in the next 3, 4, 5 years, relative to what your investment plan is. So again, forecasts, I like that type of stuff. I'm not going to run through these numbers because, like you said, they're speculative at the moment, but shows you that they've got some business background and some experience. Next one is SWOT analysis. I love my SWOT analysis. You've got your strengths, your weaknesses, and your opportunities and your threats. I do one of these every time I start a new business, and it gives you a lot of clarity and a lot of confidence about what you're about to get yourself into. And from an investor, it's also important to work out, you know, is it a saturated market? Are they putting themselves into a market niche that may not get the return of investment based on their forecasts? You know, there's all sorts of stuff. You know, and they're talking about the strengths: no centralised balance sheet, and thus no broker, no deposits, price feed tampering, platform fees and dividends paid out on volumes. You know, these are the strengths. Weaknesses: Ethereum blockchain could cause transaction delays during certain busy periods. You know, that's a weakness I feel that could relate to pretty much any of these particular ICOs that are on Ethereum. That's why I'm a big supporter of the blockchains like DigiByte and EOS. A lot of people don't realise DigiByte's actually a platform, and it's scaled. It's a scalable blockchain, and they're going to be having lots of transactions, so you can build apps and dApps on it. If I was, and I am looking at doing some decentralised applications in the future, and I'm starting to plan those, I would probably personally look at, say, an EOS or a DigiByte, just based on what I understand. And I think there's a couple of other platforms coming out using the EOS software, so it's already evolving space. But again, here's the strengths and weaknesses. I'm not going to run through them all, okay? These are things that for you to go and read. But again, guess what? It's made available for you on the homepage under Documents, and I think these sort of things are going to be relative to for you to make particular decisions. And I'm just having a quick look to see if there's anything that stands out. Oh yeah, it all looks good. Liquidity Pool. Now they talk about the Liquidity Pool, which was at the top of that demonstration model of the actual platform. Shows you how much money was going in and how much ETH, and that's going to be relative to how many users and how their ICO goes, I suppose, in the beginning. There seems to be quite a lot of interest in Spectre, from what I can see, even on YouTube and on the groups. A lot of talk about it, so they may do quite well in their initial float, so to get this all started. But you know, again, I'm not going to read all of this about. It's just what I'm letting you know is that it's actually got the information there for you to make better decisions in regards to this particular ICO. So liquidity token buyback. This was something I was interested. The Spectre's team will use up to 3% of fees generated to buy back outstanding Spectre utility tokens as part of a token buyback program. Spectre plans to purchase 15% of utility token supply, and this will be frozen or burned depending on market conditions, along with volume-based dividends to dividend token holders. The buyback program is a vote of confidence by the Spectre management team, and by reducing the supply of traded utility tokens, serves to further add support to the utility token price. So here's a little, for those who are investing and want an ROI and want more confidence. You know, some people speculate about how many tokens are actually made available. I think it was 240 million. In some ways you need tokens for, if it's a currency and there's a lot of liquidity, and obviously if there's a certain amount of people who are interested in particular entities, you need shares and you need tokens and you need securities available to sell. And that's why having a high number is not always a negative. For a currency, I think it's a positive, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get to a price point where you expect. So this is the other thing you need to make, do your maths. I think, like I said, I haven't actually done this, and I should have. is 2,000 tokens for each F. If someone's got the calculator, quickly work it out. You get a prize if you put it into the comments on this video, what that would be as a speculative current price per token for one F. 2,000 tokens, yeah. So there's a little token buyback program with burning and locking up, and they're talking about that. So keep your eye on that particular information. That's all I had. That was the first little video I wanted to do on Spectre. It was just an introduction. Mate of mine on email asked me to do it. That's what I came up with. That's what I found. It's basically a decentralized brokerage platform for you to trade cryptocurrencies and all the other pegs, including Japanese yen and all that type of stuff, from what I can see. So, and it'll probably evolve. That's the thing. It's at the beginning, so it'll expand and bring in other new tokens. And there's no doubt in 5 years' time we'll look back and it's a completely new ecosystem with new options and availabilities and new ways of looking at this entire space. So that's all I've got. Keep your eye on the market. I'm just going to quickly show you this because I ran through it the other day, and it's looking positive. We're about to hit the third surge, and I feel like that might be throughout October for the next couple of weeks. And then I think the hard fork is going to be on the 24th of October for the next Bitcoin gold. What happened last time that happened is we saw a lot of people move their funds into Bitcoin to take advantage of the hard fork so they could get as many Bitcoin cashes at the time as they could. So I think we may see that again over the next 25 days. But again, speculation, do your own research, be diligent. That's all I got on this particular video. Stay tuned and let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of this particular ICO? What do you think of this type of platform? I think it is very market niche. It's not a currency or a platform in the sense like an EOS. It's a service in the financial markets, which I think are going to be of interest to a lot of people. So, yep, that's all I got. Enjoy your afternoon or morning, depending where you are in the world. And thanks for the support. And tune into the next video. Thanks, guys.